Welcome back to the Michigan Business Beat, brought to you on the Michigan Business Network. I'm Chris Holman, and of course, we're coming to you from our studios at the Capital Region International Airport. We're going to run down to Detroit right now. Megan Spanitz is going to join us. She's the Chief Operating Officer and Chief Strategy Officer. That is a huge business card. Well, it's good to have you on. Thanks so much, Megan. She is, of course, with the Detroit Regional Chamber of Commerce. Let's talk a little bit about your position. And I think everybody's up to date on this, but you are one of the largest chambers in the country.
Yes, thank you for having me today, Chris. The Detroit Regional Chamber, we rank ourselves in a number of ways when we look at our peers nationally. Budget, staff, number of members, and we basically say we're the third largest chamber. And some of those rankings were the top, some were a little bit lower, but when you average it all out, we say we're in the top three in the nation.
It's pretty amazing stuff. It really is. And of course, your footprint is huge. It's not just Detroit.
Correct. I mean, regional is in our name for a reason. We advocate and represent businesses in the 10 county Detroit region. However, our members predominantly come from Wayne, Oakland, and Macomb County.
Big population areas. Let's talk, Megan, a little bit about your career and how you wound up in this spot.
Okay, I actually started at the chamber in summer of 1999. It was my first job out of college. I went to school for journalism and I was hired by the chamber. And at the time, I thought it was my dream job. It was the perfect cross section of politics, business, economic development. And I was hired to write newsletters that we printed and mailed quarterly. And then the world started changing, email marketing, websites. I was able to establish like an in-house agency operation to support all the various departments. Over time, I began to get engaged in membership recruitment, sponsorship, fundraising for our foundation. And then about 2 years ago, I assumed the role of Chief Strategy Officer. And that was really about making sure that our organizational resources matched our long-term priorities. I worked side by side Tammy Carnrick for over 20 years. And when she retired last summer, I took on the additional role of Chief Operating Officer.
Well, and one of those roles, by the way, is the policy conference, which is huge, and we participated in forever, seems like. That is one of the biggest things, and Tammy used to always tell me, and I'm sure you'll verify this, you start planning for the next year the day after this one is over.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so great last year. Any thoughts about this year's? Is there any anticipation about what's going to take place?
Yeah, so Bob Riney, the president and CEO of Henry Ford Health, is the chair this year, and he has established the theme for 2026 to be a quest for common ground. And what that means is that Michigan is a purple state, and together we need to think about, rather than what divides us, what we can unite behind to really move the region, the state forward. And so we'll be talking about critical issues like AI and data centers, healthcare, K-12 education. In a lot of ways, Michigan has fallen behind in the last decade. We're a bottom 10 state. We used to be a top 10 state. We're not growing our population. We're not attracting young tech talent. And so I think we're going to convene conversations that we can get people from different sides of the aisle to come together and say, we can agree on this. We'll also have national speakers that will be talking about where there can be agreement at a national level on issues as well.
All right, so let's go back over this year. Now, you've been almost a year in this position, but with that many years at the chamber, there's not going to be a lot of surprises in what comes for you, other than the normal business surprises that come every day. So tell me some of the highlights that have happened over your 8 or 10 months.
Well, this past summer, I had the opportunity to go to a conference with the other top chambers in the country, and it was really good to hear from them of, especially in the AI universe, what they were doing to help their members understand and integrate AI. And we took some of those best practices and have launched them into a new webinar series that's available on our website, and it's open to members and non-members. It's called AI Office Hour. And that was a good win, taking from peers across the country and bringing things back to Detroit. I would also say, the be more in depth in Mackinac. My background was marketing and communications and sponsorship. Now I'm more involved in the programming, and so that has been a new experience for me.
Well, and I bet it's an exciting one because you always have great speakers up there and great information takes place. So next week, you guys are hosting the State of the Region report. Got about a half minute. Tell us about that.
So each year we release this report that compares Detroit's main data points like per capita income, education attainment, population growth, um, against the national averages and also our peer regions, which are predominantly Midwest states. We've done a deeper dive this year on data centers and the economic impact they could have for the region, as well as the impacts that tariffs are having.
Well, it's a pretty full bill of work that you're going to come out of that with, and we look forward to seeing what that's going to look like on the other side. So we'll probably have you back on at that point. Megan Spanitz, the Chief Operating Officer and Chief Strategy Officer with the Detroit Regional Chamber of Commerce. Thanks for taking the time to join us. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. I look forward to talking to you soon.
We will do exactly that. You've been watching the Michigan Business Beat on the Michigan Business Network. I'm Chris Holman.